Hey everybody, I'm Chris Woods, and I wanted to give you 10 tips on how to be more creative. Tip number 1, realize you are creative. Identify with that. What do I mean? Well, if you are thinking thoughts, if you are able to create images in your head, you are creating. Once you realize you're creative, that can build momentum as you identify with that part of yourself. Open yourself up to that side of yourself. Realize that's you, no matter what anybody's ever told you. Number 2, create good habits. You got to really set things up for you to create. So either have an easel somewhere nearby ready to go, have your instrument somewhere where you can easily get it out and practice. You want to make it easy for you to practice. You want to make it easy for you to engage in those creative behaviors. Number 3, develop a growth mindset. What is a growth mindset? Well, that's where you realize that your brain can actually change. We're not fixed in one reality or one intelligence. We can learn something new every day. So get curious. Instill yourself with a sense of wonder. Get around places that inspire your senses to wake up and soak in information and inform your creative vision. Number 4 is what I call ABC. Always be creative. Always be creative. No matter what you're doing, you're in the line at the DMV. Start looking at people's faces, not in like a weird, creepy way, but just try to figure out like where'd they come from? What's their life about? See if you can get some insight into people, or just look at the angles of the inside of the building and ask yourself, well, I wonder how they designed this place. Questions like that. If you ask yourself questions in a seemingly mundane situation, you can suddenly realize that you have millions and billions of bits of data that you can practice on, you can observe and enhance your own senses with. Another way to always be creative is when you're talking to somebody, see if you can listen a little more deeply. See if you can tell an engaging story. Maybe you don't really like talking that much. Maybe you're like me, you're an introvert and you tend to be kind of shy, but maybe you think of a story that you want to tell in the middle of a conversation. Go ahead and tell it. See how colorful you can make that story, how dramatic and powerful and touching you can make that story, or entertaining. Number 5, write your dreams, your actual dreams. You can write your goals too, that's great. But what I'm talking about here is your actual dreams that you have at night when you're sleeping. Why do you want to do this? This will give you access to the very part of us that is the creative genius, your subconscious mind. We create in our dream world, literally, we create in our minds every single night these vast worlds, these grand visions come to us, and for the most part, we forget them, and we don't think it's important. But as a creative artist, I believe that you really need to value those dreams as the core of your creativity. So how do you do that? Well, you need to write them down every morning as soon as you wake up before you forget them, because we have kind of this amnesia thing when it comes to dreams. So wake up, write your dreams, and after you've written them, maybe just think a little bit about, well, what could that actually mean? You know, is there something that my subconscious is trying to tell me or get out? And there's a lot of symbolism in dreams. The more you do that, you start to understand the language of your subconscious and the language of your own inner creative genius. And you also encourage that side of yourself. When you pay attention to your dreams, you're telling yourself, well, this is important. My creativity is important. My vision is important. Number 6, develop grit. I highly recommend this book, Grit by Angela Duckworth. What Angela talks about is the ability to do the work, do the hard work. The hard work, you just do it. You do the work. You put in the hours that it takes in order to realize your creative visions. It's one thing to have a dream and to have a vision. It's another to actually do it, right? To actually complete the project. And part of it is learning to love the hard work aspect, seeing that as a part of the process, a part of the journey is the actual sitting down. If you're a composer, getting each note written, note by note by note. If you're a visual artist, maybe you want to draw something every single day. If you're a writer, you write, you just put in the time. You have to put in the time and develop. And what developing grit is that ability to keep yourself in it, to really grind it out, to really just like, I'm going to do this no matter what, and I'm going to make it happen. And I'm going to enjoy that aspect of it. Number 7, embrace a healthy lifestyle. So the healthier you are, the better your brain's going to work. The better your brain works, the easier it's going to be to create. Also, you're going to have more energy. So you're going to have more energy for that grit. You're going to have more energy to get the stuff done. You're going to have more energy to practice. You're going to have more energy to get out there and see things in the world and absorb it. You'll have more energy to process all that information. The best things you can do in this area: get good sleep, exercise, and eat healthy food. Dark leafy greens. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Number 8, immerse yourself in the masters. Get out there. I'm talking about immersion. Immerse yourself. Immerse yourself in the best of the best. Learn from it. Don't be intimidated by it. Just study it, analyze it, and then use it to whatever degree you want to in your own creative process. But by really absorbing the masters, you learn the vocabulary of the art form in which you're taking a part in. What you can do in this process is you realize, well, what do I like? What is it about this art that I like, and what can I use from that? And maybe it'll inspire you in new ways. Maybe explore masters of art forms that are outside of the realm of what it is you're currently pursuing too. That might give you fresh ideas as well. Number 9, record your ideas. So it's super easy now with smartphones, right? You got your voice message. You've got your, what's it called? You've got your voice memos. All you have to do, as soon as you get an idea, record it. Write it down or sing it into your phone or whatever your art form is. Jot a little drawing. Any idea that you have, you want to make sure that you record it. Just put it down there. Just have it so that you can review all your ideas later. You might find some gems that you had totally forgotten about. I'm in the process of writing a violin concerto, and I have probably hundreds of ideas on my phone of things that I just improvised, thought of, played on the piano. And I'm not using probably 90% of that, but the process of doing that, I'm building up the language for my concerto. And sometimes as I've composed the concerto and I sort of feel like I'm at a standstill, I've run out of ideas, I can go back to my phone and I have all these ideas that I've recorded. And some of them are like, whoa, this is perfect. I'll find like the perfect thing that I need. So always record all of your ideas. Number 10, you want to see all of your creative projects as fun challenges. It's a fun challenge. What does this do? This reframes everything. I learned about this reading The Telomere Effect, which is a great book I highly recommend. Basically, our telomeres are the strands of DNA at the ends of our chromosomes, and the more stressed we get, the shorter they get. But apparently, if you view your problems as fun challenges, they stay long. And I have a feeling that this can translate to your creative pursuits too, because I've been using it in my own life. So for my violin concerto that I'm writing, I'm seeing it as a fun challenge, and that does something. It sort of lifts the vibe. It makes it easier in some way. It makes it seem like I can actually do it, and like I want to do it, like I feel more motivated. It's not like a struggle, it's like a challenge. And not only a challenge, it's a fun challenge. So that gets your brain into just sort of automatically seeing how you can kind of gamify it a little bit. Even just like putting the notes into my notation software, Sibelius, I'm using as I click on a note, I'm imagining I'm doing like an aim training game for a video game as I get the cursor onto each note. Little things like that can kind of shift your brain and make it more fun. And obviously, the more fun something is, the more you're going to want to do it. And the more you want to do it, the more you will do it. And the time that you're doing it will go by faster. It won't feel as much like you're trudging through mud, you know. So those are 10 tips that So those are my 10 tips on how to enhance. So those are my 10 tips for enhanced creativity. I really hope that some of these helped you, and if so, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know which tip helps you the most. I wish you the best on your creative journey. Be well.